Glad to be here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm close for comfort.
We both had burritos, so. All right.
We're good.
We're good. Okay, so, to just kind of start, give us, as I had mentioned in the email.
Yep.
Who are you? How'd you get here? Why are you here in Muscatine? Because, as I mentioned, typically we'll have an entrepreneur.
Right.
You're the city administrator. For
I'm not an
municipality.
entrepreneur. No.
But I don't believe that, but.
Okay.
So how, give us a little bit of the Gregg Mandsager story and how you arrived in Muscatine.
Sure. My dad was a Navy lawyer. He was in the Navy worked for the Navy for about 45 years. So I've had an opportunity to live all over the world. My parents are from Iowa. They grew up in Fort Dodge. I have a degree from Iowa State and political science. I have a law degree from Drake. And I've worked in city government. I've worked in Fort Dodge. I've worked in West Burlington. I've worked in Lebanon, New Hampshire. It's out by Dartmouth. And about 6 budgets ago, or 5 and a half years ago, we moved back to Muscatine. Moved back basically for our kids, actually.
Okay.
And to be closer to family. But we weren't real happy with the school system out there. We wanted to come back home to Iowa, which is kind of basically the closest thing to home for me.
Yeah.
Muscatine was open. AJ went to Urbandale, and it seemed like a great opportunity. I had an opportunity to talk to a lot of folks, including folks in the same field, and Muscatine seemed to be a great fit, and has been a great fit for my wife Anna and I. We've got 4 kids, that 2 left in the school system here, and probably the closest thing to business. My son is now a freshman, direct admit at Tippy at the business school. So,
cool.
so maybe I'll learn a little bit from him as well.
Okay, there you go. Well, if I have students or maybe they're not my students, but they're students at MCC,
right,
or somebody like you that doesn't technically work in business, and they say, well, I'm not in business or I'm not an entrepreneur, I say,
right,
yeah, you are. If you have a job, you're in business, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So let's do this one. I gotta do this. Okay.
You got a lot of them.
I know. I write too much and I talk too much. Okay. I like this one though, because I know that in a varied background, you have a political science degree, you have a law degree, you've been a municipal government guy, but you're in part an Iowa guy. So somewhere back in your history, there had to be your lemonade stand. Had to have been something, right? When you were young?
Government's kind of in my blood, though. I mean, my dad was a Navy lawyer. He worked on international law for a long time. I figured that's probably what I was going to be doing, actually. But I kind of fell into city government in Fort Dodge. I was waiting to pass the bar, and a job opened with the city of Fort Dodge. And what I found is that because I didn't take any municipal government classes. I didn't take in law school or at Iowa State or whatever it was. But what I found is that I'm dealing with something new every single day, and probably a lot like business folks. But I'm dealing with something new every day. I'm dealing with multiple different topics, meeting new people every day. But what I get at the end of the day is I get to help people. I get to get two things. One, I get to build community. I get to help grow a community. And 2, I get to help, not always, but I get to help people, whether it's grow their business, grow the community, develop a community and build something where people want to live, work, and play. Yeah. And for me, so that's where I'm, I guess. I don't know if it's my business opportunity or what it is, but I'm helping grow a community or develop a community, and so it's not. I'm not making video games, or what was your last speaker? I'm drawing a blank at this point in time, but
Bug spray, right?
right. You know, I'm not selling bug spray, which is expanded overseas at this point in time, but what I am doing is helping to grow a community.
Right.
And there's all these facets of it, and
So
that was my hook.
Yeah, that's your ding.
That was I got hooked at that point in time, and I just loved. We come in, we jump in with both feet and be part of the community. Whether that's, you know, my wife volunteered at Colorado Elementary School in multiple capacities, and so just, you know, being part of the community, but also helping it grow. And we're really excited to be here. So it's fun. We enjoy it.
So I said that's your ding.
That was kind of my hook. Yeah, my ding.
Right.
You know.
A year or two ago, one of my students, my favorite Steve Jobs quote of all time is, "I just want to put a ding in the universe." And one of my students then, international students, needed to understand, well, what does that mean, your ding? And so we talked about it. And
Sure.
so ever since then, the students don't talk about their business or their project anymore. They talk about their ding.
Okay.
So
I'll have to
that's
think
your
about
ding.
that. I've got about 20 Steve Jobs quotes on my desktop of my computer at work, actually. So
Which
I'll
is
have
an
to add
apple,
that
I've
one.
noticed.
Which is an apple.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it is.
Okay, so then, you talked about who you are and
Right.
what's driving you and your passion. What is the role, or can be the role, of municipal government, in this case specifically the government in Muscatine?
Sure.
What's our government's role in fostering this startup entrepreneurial community?
We could probably spend 2 or 3 hours on this on a particular topic, but maybe we can hit some of the highlights. So you gotta live in a community or be a community that people want to live and work and play in. And so we've got a ton of different projects going on right now. I think we've got a great place to live. You know, the schools, you know, been working and improving their programs. They went from, you know, 80 to 400 and plus AP programs. So we got a great school system. Look at this riverfront and the building that we're in.
Right.
We're in today. We've got a gym that's just waiting to be uncovered right across the street in the downtown. We've got hotel projects that's really going to help be a cornerstone for that. You got H&I that's making $40 million worth of improvements. You got Kent Corp that's made over $100 million, or is making over $100 million worth of projects or improvements on the south end. But you've got. So there's, we'll call it infrastructure. You know, we can help promote Muscatine. We can help build Muscatine. But it's got to be a place that people want to be. You know, placemaking. You know, let's make Muscatine a place that people don't think about just coming to work, because we've got a ton of great jobs here in Muscatine. But you know, there's a great volleyball program over at Weed Park. We've got this beautiful riverfront. We've got how many miles of trail? We're going to have another 4-mile off-road trail all the way down to Deep Lakes Park. That's going to go from the soccer complex all the way down there. That's going to be starting in the spring. We've got a CAT grant that's going to be looking at entertainment facilities on the riverfront. I work with MPW. It's really kind of a team effort, and they're going to be doing fiber to the home. You know, how key is that for
Right.
for not only our large industries, for the hospital, for small business, and being able to get out to the world. We've got a port project that looks like we're going to get a grant for to finalize our study on, and that port project has the opportunity to not only be an entryway for products from the outside world, but an opportunity for not only our large industry to export out to the world, to China, whatever it might be, but for our small business to bring their Muscatine products out to the world, and China. We've got a specific project with China that we're working on. So it's really kind of, let's see, I guess we're a partner, and you know, we'd like to bring all of the tools together, you know, or be kind of a one-stop shop. We work with the state and the Iowa Economic Development Authority, the Chamber, Muscatine Power and Water. Think of us as a resource. You know, if you got, you know, I may not have all the questions. Our economic development, our community development department may not, but as a team, we can pull together people to help folks, help small business get off the ground and be successful here in Muscatine.
Okay, so you mentioned the port project. What are some of the other specific programs that City of Muscatine has going?
Okay. Well, we started a little over a year ago 2 programs, and both work in conjunction with our local banks. One is a grant and one is a loan. And the loan program is with our 3 banks, and it's basically, it's for building improvements. And it's a low-interest loan, 1% below prime, that people can take advantage of. So it's something that folks can take advantage of, but really supplement our other program. Our other program is a small business forgivable loan. It's a TIF program, and that TIF program, it really, TIF, if you're not familiar with it, tax increment financing. A lot of people think of it as a industry tool, something that large corporations are going to take advantage of, or a large commercial project coming into the community, the warehouse project on the south end of town with Kent Corporation. But TIF can be a very creative tool, and we haven't thought of all of the things that we can do with it. So what we've got is a 5-year forgivable loan. 20% a year is forgiven. So at the end of the day, you owe nothing, and it's really a grant to get your business off the ground. It's small. It's $25,000 up to $25,000. There's 2 components to it. One is for it's purely more economic development, and one is it has to do with more a grant towards code improvements, because frankly it's more expensive to do business in the downtown. And we've chosen 3 districts to kind of kick that program off downtown, and second, being one of the obvious choices, because we've got all of these things going on in Muscatine and in the downtown area, and we'd want to encourage business, frankly, in the downtown. And we've had 9 businesses apply for and receive funding as part of that program. So
all 9 of those businesses in the downtown district?
No. Let's see.
3 target areas, right?
We have 3 target areas. We've got Park Avenue out to roughly 22, and we've got Grandview and downtown. And so we've had, let's see, we've got a whole list of them, but we've got the one on Grandview, 2 on Park Avenue, and the rest are in the downtown area as well. We've got anything from restaurants, Hannah's Awesome Treats. We've got, where are you? A future coffee shop, coming to downtown. We have it's a gun shop. Local owner Lucas Communications started a second shop. We've got the sports business on the south end of town, off of Grandview, over by the plant. So we've got a whole mixture of things, and there's really no right. It can be a mom and pop shop. This can be a 1-person shop. There's no requirements like there are with TIF, where we want to see some high quality jobs to get that higher level investment. So it's an idea that we had. We fleshed it out. We talked to folks. We kind of tweaked it, and I'd love to see us come up with more ideas. I'd really be interested to hear, what do you need? There's lots of resources in town. The Chamber's got tons of resources. You've got SCORE. You've got the Entrepreneurial Center at MCC. Iowa and Iowa State are great resources, and they've been going around the state talking up all of their programs. So I think we can really be a resource for folks in the community, and to help pull it all together, or be part of the discussion.
Cool. All right, let's go back to the forgivable loan program a little bit.
Sure.
Again, earlier we were talking about the money.
Right.
The amount of money that the city's put into it, and you talked about the amount of money that's been leveraged.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So we've had 9 awards in the Small Business Forgivable Loan Program. We've had 3 in the loan program. We've leveraged $159,000 in grant dollars, and I believe I can pull it out. It's $200,000 or $300,000 in loan loan improvement projects, and then the rest is private. So we've leveraged, we'll say, with private investment on top of that, over $1.1 million with those 9 projects.
What would you like people to learn from your experience?
That I think I put together a pretty good team, that we've put together a pretty good team at the city. We've got a very supportive council. I think it's been a couple of years now. Steve Boca, been in the community and working for the city of Muscatine in community development for a number of years, did an excellent job. We have a little bit different concept now. We have somebody who's actually been a business owner, small business, not so small business,
Right.
grew the business, and is in that role for a reason, because so that we can really kind of combine and have a more of an entrepreneurial or business perspective in local government, and he brings that perspective to the table. So what we're trying to do, I think, is again, I'm going to go back to the team effort. It's making sure that we've got the right people in the room. And I don't mean by the right people, I mean that we have everybody in the room. Because for me, it's a constant learning program. The state's coming out with programs on a regular basis. The federal government comes out on programs. For me, it's about hearing what the needs are. And if we can hear what the needs are, and there may be a role for us, there may not be a role for us, but again, we can get pretty creative with the tools that we have. And where there's not a tool in place, we can create one. We can go talk to the state. We can talk to our legislators. But we need to know what the needs are. So getting involved, and whether it's small business or the projects that we have in place, participation, getting involved in your community, letting us know what the needs are. I mean, if we could just increase our participation, which is why we hired a communications manager right. In July, and I can't tell our access to folks in the community is just shot up dramatically. We're seeing much greater participation. I'm going to qualify that. We're reaching more people. We're not necessarily getting more input. We are getting right. more input, but I'd love to see more. So whether it's meeting, I had a meeting with folks a few weeks in the downtown just to talk about, it was a small group, what are the issues that are important to us? It was little things, trash in the alleys. You walk downtown Muscatine, you walk down alley number 2 behind City Hall, basically that stretch, it's a mess.
Right.
If you want to grow your business here in downtown Muscatine, and you want to attract visitors or just local, you don't want to see trash in the alleys. So what can we do to improve that situation? Little things like that can go a long way to creating that sense of place, and a place that people want to go to, be in the downtown. I wasn't able to attend the holiday stroll. Mm-hmm. But I saw some of the pictures from it. We had right. Obviously it was great weather, but what an opportunity right. to get people downtown Muscatine, and just, if more stores, more events, keep people coming down here. That soapbox derby is going to attract not only people from Muscatine, right. but all over the place. I know it is.
Yeah, it'll be a cool event.
Absolutely. So
awesome event.
Participation is really key, and hearing your ideas, and if we can take those ideas and shape them into a program that works here in Muscatine, awesome.
Cool. Okay. One last question before we do
Sure.
some Q&A. And I always ask this of the entrepreneurs, so it's a two-parter.
Okay.
So instead of what's the best and worst part about being an entrepreneur, what's the worst part about being a city administrator? And second part, what's the best part about being a city administrator? Do I have to pick one? I don't know if I can. And I can qualify, so you don't have to say the worst part is working for city council.
No. Not at all. Not at all. I'll two things I'll mention. One, I don't like to tell people no, but sometimes you have to tell people no. And I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. That's what the rules are. That may be what the law is. You need to have a safe structure which is why we build in some additional dollars for like the
Right.
downtown, because we know it's more costly to build in the downtown. But nobody likes to tell people no, but if you can, hopefully you can do it in a professional manner and they can understand. Not everybody leaves happy, and that's unfortunate.
Right.
The other thing, my brain doesn't shut off, and and I wish I could turn it off, about at least at about 10 o'clock, and not turn it on again until I get up in the morning to get. But it's always going. So
Yeah, see, you're an entrepreneur.
okay, good. But I wish I could just kind of turn it off, because I'm always thinking about what's going on and
Right.
what we need to do, and so I wish I could turn it off for a little while. I mean, in fact, I've tried. I haven't gotten there yet. I've tried to stop checking my emails on Saturdays and Sundays. And somebody needs to reach me, then get me on my cell or text me. But I've tried to at least do that. Best part, being part of a team that's making a difference in your community, helping the community thrive. And I'm just thinking about all of the different things, and being one small part of that team. I mean, because it's not me. It's being part of that broader team. The mayor, the council, the residents, but several of the folks I already mentioned. And working with the chamber and the city, and building those partnerships with industry and our school systems and the college, and creating new partnerships as well. So being one piece of the puzzle, or one part of that. And seeing your community grow, thrive, that's really rewarding, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Good.
Absolutely.
All right. Who has questions for Gregg?
Oh, come on, somebody's got one.
You were talking about 3 key places in Muscatine that you're trying to build.
Sure.
One of the key places, one place that I want to ask about is actually a key place that just came into play, the movie theater.
Yes.
What are we doing to build upon the movie theater now that it's bringing people from all the surrounding towns to our city instead of up to Davenport to the cinemas?
Absolutely. And it's still one of the busiest theaters in the state today. And one of the first things we did is speak with the Fridleys, and the properties. Frankly, it's rather expensive. But what we did to help offset that is tax increment financing is available through the Fridley organization on all of the outlots to help offset those costs. And it's basically a 10-year program, 50%. So what does that mean? That means if I build a $500,000 project on that, and my taxes are, I'm just throwing numbers out, $50,000 a year, you get $25,000 back every year for 10 years as an incentive for you to build on those lots. Personally, for a couple of us at City Hall, 2 of my priorities, I'd like to see a hotel at some point out there, and a restaurant to complement the theater. And of course, right around the corner, we've got around 200,000 users, not necessarily visitors, but users that visit the soccer and Kent Stein complex on an annual basis. What a great location. If I can go over there and take my kids, they can jump in the pool, they can go grab a movie, I can grab a bite to eat, all in one little location. That's one of the things I'd like to do. They'd love to see some office space on that site as well. And for one main reason, and that is most office space isn't used at night, and that can supplement the movie theater lots as well. They've hired a real estate agent locally to help promote the site, and I stay in touch with Mr. Van Orsdale or Brian Fridley on a pretty regular basis. We touch in and see what's going on and what they've heard, what we've heard, to certainly promote that area for some growth. It's a great opportunity. In addition to that, and related to it, Mulberry Street from Hauser to the bypass is going to be reconstructed in 2016. That project will be let in, I believe, March of 2016, and it's going to look a lot like Colorado, only it's going to be a little narrower. It's going to be 2-lane, center turn lane with sidewalks. So that'll get people to that residential area. You can walk out to the theater as well and connect everything up. So absolutely.
What else?
Anything else?
Is the bike lane part of that, Gregg? The bike path?
recreational, correct?
It's a 5-foot sidewalk right now. What we did we recently connected or finished Diana Queen Drive, which was a gap that was missing over in that area, in that housing area. And what we've done is lay the foundation to connect up a trail system over there. So what we have is right away. We've put in a 5-foot sidewalk, but we have the right of way to expand it to a 10-foot trail. So when that opens up, what we'd really love to see is a mixed use of, I'm going to call it new urbanist development over there, where you've got smaller homes, middle-sized homes, and larger lot homes mixed in there with trail and green space in that area. That's kind of a concept that we've been talking about in-house and how we can develop that area. We're starting to see, because of our tax abatement program, we're starting to see more growth inside the bypass than outside the bypass within the city limits. It's cheaper to build. You've already got the infrastructure there and in place, and we have a tax abatement program. What we probably need to do is probably market or promote that tax abatement program more than we're doing now. We talked about maybe some billboards, so absolutely.
When were you kicked that off? What year was that when you kicked off?
Diana Queen Drive is done. The sidewalks are done as well. We have a new sidewalk program. We've been budgeting about $50,000 worth of sidewalk. I'm going to call them safe routes to school, or connectors where there's been gaps, so we can get kids that are walking safely from home to school. And we've been working with the school system. That's going to be our #1 priority. The trail is going to be let this spring as well, and that'll take it from the soccer complex around the transfer station and all the way out to Deep Lakes Park, and actually to Deep Lakes Park. And so that'll be a pretty cool piece as well. We're getting ready to take our budget to council next on the 28th. And in that, we're recommending an increase in our sidewalk program. And we do about $500,000 annually in street maintenance work. That's just like overlays or fixing streets. That's not new streets. And we think we can get about $1 million done annually going forward. And that's kind of back to the infrastructure. People want to live in a place where their streets aren't full of potholes, or do one of these things. Or Colorado is a great example. It was a rural road that came into Muscatine, and now it's you've got Colorado. You got a new street. You got Harrison back there. We were able to work with the school, get the school drop off. Now you've got a Korean restaurant, and you've got a potential housing development going in right back there because of some of the infrastructure and the groundwork that we were able to lay. To get business to site there. So,
right next to an amazing park and the college.
And a community college, absolutely.
Yeah.
The community college is a economic development. That the last one of our TIF programs was working with the community college to create student housing out there. And so there's. You can get real creative with TIF and ways to help, positive ways to help grow your community or fill the needs that we have.
I think maybe for sidewalks you could probably add some more to MCC, like the entrances. Like sometimes I'll walk like on the side of the road, like for the entrance.
Right.
And I would like to do be a sidewalk there or something like that.
That's probably a college issue, not the city, right?
It is, but signage on Colorado, I think you guys are going to be working on to help promote that as well. But absolutely, we've actually been working with Dr. DeWinter on some infrastructure programs, street, and I can't remember if there's sidewalks related to that. They've applied for a grant to help make some improvements out at the college, and our city planner and our city engineer, we're working closely with the community college and to help get that grant in, and they have submitted that, and hopefully there'll be some improvements coming soon. Absolutely, absolutely. And my mother keeps me in stock.
There you go. So, Fort Dodge, right?
Well, actually, she's from Fort Dodge, but they've come back to Iowa, and they bought a house about a half block from the lake in Emmitsburg. So,
oh, cool. All right. Okay. This has become, in what 4 short months of startup grind.
Yes.
A bit of a tradition. So I already mentioned the Steve Jobs quote. I want to put a dig in the universe.
Absolutely.
So we do this to say thank you for
Well,
sharing
thank you so
your
much.
day.
Oh, I appreciate it very much. I'm happy to be here, and
Thank you.
my wife saw this, and she thought I was following her around town. Everywhere I went, she saw my face. So
scary,
she was really scary. She wasn't real thrilled with that. But thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
There's still more to eat.